In the past few weeks, I visited quite a few places around India. And India is famous for its traditions, its diversity. There's an incredible amount of heritage that couldn't be summed up in 1,000 books. It's a matter of pride that the Indian culture has had such a profound impact on the world. Regardless of one's relation to Indian culture and its linguistic and religious diversity, it is virtually impossible to escape its influence. Unfortunately, that sentiment has slowly started to become extinct for most people. It doesn't matter what nationality I'm talking about, it is an omnipresent issue. Customs and culture have been downsized, so to speak, and the overwhelming culture is now internet culture. So it was while I was thinking about this that I came across the great Indian treasure. India used to and is still a great nation. Its languages, philosophies, music, dances, art, architecture, food, pretty much anything you can imagine has been adopted by the globe. The book might be fiction, but the great Indian treasure is very real. It is an important question. How many of us really know the culture we belong to? Talking of India, Indian innovators had ideas that couldn't be implemented for centuries because they were so advanced. They designed things that we still can't. Scientists hypothesized about possibilities that were quite unheard of and would be for a very long time. I am an Indian. I've heard these statements so many times and I never disbelieved them, but it took me entirely too long to realize that while I knew of the innovations, I didn't know about them. Heritage is basically a representation of the stories of people from the past and present. If we don't know the stories, how can we claim to belong to a particular heritage? Everyone knows who Aryabhatta was. Most people call him that guy who invented the zero or something. He wasn't just that. He invented the reasons for solar and lunar eclipses. He even calculated the exact time the earth takes to revolve around the sun. And keep in mind that this was a calculation made before half the world even used numbers. Discovering gravity, calculating the speed of light, dispersion and refraction, we found them out literally centuries before the rest of the world. And yet the credit for all of them belongs not to India but to others. Why? We just didn't know our history well enough to benefit from it. I believe there are some things we can learn from the past, actually quite a lot of them. India is not particularly rich anymore, but that's not what treasure is. The great Indian treasure isn't simply wealth or power. It's knowing that we have a rich legacy of innovation. We have the potential to once again be considered as one of the top nations.